In Lifestyle Sports in Mary Street in town. We were just in there doing a question and answer session there with a few competition winners. So it was enjoyable. Probably a few. I was on the receiving end of a few jokes from Gordon, unusually enough. But it was nice. It's always great to get out and meet some of the supporters, the guys who are kind of helping you get to where you're going. And the guys who were supporting you at all the games, so it was nice in that sense.
How's the relationship been going with Puma since you signed up with them?
It's fantastic. It's one of those things where really I can't really, I'm doing an interview, for Puma here. It's always going to sound like I'm biased, but the brand really is fantastic. They look after you so well. They brought me over for the English game actually, and I had a great time over there. And they're fantastic with just looking after you in general in terms of your gear, and they're really good. They know. Especially weeks of games and things like that, they're fantastic at getting kind of media stuff done early in the week so that it's out of your way. So they're very thoughtful in that sense, and they're a great brand to be associated with.
I'd imagine, Luke, it's been a very frustrating time for you at the moment with the injury picked up last November. How is the rehabilitation going, and what kind of date have you set for a comeback?
It's one of those things where it's one of those really serious injuries where I was told by the doc not really to set a date. It was just focus on going through the process of of getting rehabilitated as such, and I'm like, you see, it's one of those things where you can maybe go through some of the processes of it and some of the parts of the rehab maybe that little bit quicker. And with a ligament injury especially, you have to just give it time. It's one of those things you can't strengthen with going to the gym, every day and stretching it and all that. You just can't do it. You just need to give it time. So there's a certain amount of time, and I'm almost coming to the end of it now. About 2 months to go until it's fully right to play. So I'm just kind of going through the last stages of the rehabilitation process, which is great. It's been a long old haul, as you said yourself there. So it's great, and I think it'll probably look like it's going to be the start of next season, which is kind of unfortunate. But I had prepared it, kind of myself in my mind early on in the early stages of the injury for that. So it's kind of sunk in at this stage.
Six Nations. Disappointing for Ireland this season, but obviously it would have been hard to replicate the success of last year. Just looking in, what place do you think the team are in at the moment? They have the summer tour coming up, very difficult matches, and then a year to the Rugby World Cup. Where do you think they're at?
I think the team's definitely in a good place. I think you saw that there was kind of good rotation in the Six Nations. We used quite a few squad members, which is always good, especially coming into a World Cup year. You need to have a big squad if you want to be competitive there. So I think we're in a good place. I think the guys were probably a little bit disappointed. I'm assuming they probably had higher expectations than I suppose where they ended up in the competition. I think they were probably disappointed as well with the last match in Croke Park. I think they would love to have gone out of there with kind of leaving on good terms as such, and they probably didn't. But I think to answer your question, I think the squad's in a good place. I think it's a big squad, it's a healthy squad, and there's good confidence there. I think once they kind of get over the kind of disappointment of the Six Nations and kind of get going during the summer tour, I think they'll be fine, and hopefully get a bit of momentum down there. Leinster look like they're in a good position this season, and we're really happy with how things have gone so far. But I think the squad as a whole is very aware of how tough the challenge is going to be, and with the new format in the Magners League, it's going to be kind of a cup final kind of scenario. I know there's obviously 2 games to go. There's a playoff game, and then there's the final. So it's going to be a really tough game to 2 really tough games at the end of it if we get to that stage. So we're aware of how tough that competition is going to be successful in it. And then obviously you've got the Heineken Cup where we've got a massive game on the weekend against Claremont on Friday. So it's going to be a really tough challenge for us, and I think the squad's really looking forward to that. That's one of the things that this squad is relishing. It's kind of challenging itself and playing against the best teams, and we're certainly doing that on the weekend. It's going to be very hard. So I think everyone's really looking forward to it, but it's kind of daunting at the same time.